All right, I think we're live. We're live. Hi, guys, it's Ona, your energy customer service rep from Chicago, and Dr. Vicky. Today is Saturday, November 2nd, 2024,
Yes, it
and
is.
it's Mystic Sisters Live.
Mystic Sisters Live
The
in
night
your living room. Sorry.
before the election on Tuesday, like this is an
I
important. Okay, what are you doing to like keep yourself sane, Dr. Vicky?
working. I'm mostly working, not
Okay.
and not paying attention to the news. Although I do wake up and there are some shows I watch. I really do have to kind of have an idea of what's going on, but I don't. I hear it once. I don't have to hear it more than once, and then I don't like watch something that keeps repeating the same thing over and over again. So I've just been kind of procuring my media consumption,
Yeah.
and then just doing some research and just really sort of focusing on what interests me, honestly.
Yeah. I gotta say that since I voted early on Tuesday. Even though there's voting in my building, I didn't want to like miss the bus, right? What if I miss the bus? Um, I am much calmer since I voted. I definitely have leveled off or controlled maybe slightly some of that like ire.
Well, I think a lot of times the hardest part about like bearing witness to what we've been bearing witness to over the last, say, 10 years is that there's this sense that there's nothing we can do about it. And when you vote, you've done something about it. And that's why voting feels so good, because no matter what, you put your 2 cents in and it matters. It
Yeah,
really does. It makes me feel better.
yeah,
And I get a high after I vote. Like after I vote, I'm like walking on cloud nine. I
yeah,
mean, seriously. I mean, it doesn't last that long, but I'm like, I voted.
yeah,
And then I go home and like get back to work.
yeah. I feel like I thank God I don't have to. I committed to the time that I committed to, and I went because I passed by today and the line was twice as long. And I walked past it and I was like, oh my gosh, thank God I went already. And then just, I did what I did. Like I voted. So there's nothing more I can do. I can't complain. I mean, I can
Yeah,
complain,
sure you can. Sure you
but
can.
it's not as effective. It's not as effective, I think, because I've
Well,
already,
I think if you don't vote, you can't complain.
oh yeah, for
That's
sure.
what I think.
No,
That's
yeah,
if you don't vote, then don't say anything because you know if you're putting your 2 cents in. I mean, it's the action of voting because we can all say stuff, but it's the action of doing it.
yeah. Ours is all digital. We don't have paper ballots. It's
Yeah, I
all,
saw that. Yeah, yeah. I heard.
yeah. I don't know if you guys have that yet
No,
or,
we have. I liked what we have. You fill in the circle
mhm,
and then you put it in the machine and it records it. It like makes a copy of it or whatever.
yeah,
And it counts the vote. So that's how they count the votes. But I like it because with the digital you press, you don't really know if they, you know what I mean? Like you really
it does. At the end, it will spit out your
oh, it
paperwork
does? Oh,
and you
okay.
can review it. If you want to make changes, you can make changes. You take that paper that it spits out and sign it and and feed it into another scanner.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see, that's a little different where we
So
have.
there is a what is that, a double identifier? Yeah, they can, that piece of paper comes out
Right.
because I think digital too. I'm like, I don't know. I tried to change the clock of my microwave and it speaks French now. So
We
I'm
didn't
not
like
like big on the digital either.
wait a minute.
I swear. I'll show you.
Elon, what are you doing now? Oops, sorry. The name that shan't be he's going to be the next Voldemort. Watch. We have quite a few folks on. Let me just go to the top here and see. I saw some very interesting stuff here. Mary, hello everyone. Antoinette's granddaughter's here. Yes, hello, Mystic Sisters. Yep, that's us. Um,
It
hello.
went straight blue. I
Oh,
kind of did too, pretty much. Yeah.
what's that?
We have like a school board thing, and I'm not all involved in that anymore. But there's a big shakeup in the Chicago school board, and this election is important because we're voting people in, and I'm not vested in it anymore.
We have a couple of good questions on ours. One of them is uh, for rideshare drivers for the right to unionize, like the Ubers. So
Oh
we're
yeah.
voting on that in our state. I think we're voting on um, like what is that called? Like I want to say acid, but there's another name for it.
Psychedelics?
Yeah, for to treat PTSD and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
to make that legal.
Start studying that for sure.
Oh, yeah. I actually, when I went to my granddaughter, I don't have a granddaughter, daughter, my goddaughter's wedding, one of her former classmates from West Point was going to school to be a psychologist,
Yeah.
and he had some PTSD from, I think he was in Afghanistan, maybe. But I think he lives in Washington, maybe, where it's legal, and he's working, trying to work with my granddaughter, my goddaughter, I keep doing that, went to West Point, so she's in the military, and this guy was in the military, and so he's trying to use that to help people, soldiers with PTSD. He's getting into that. So I know it works really well. I know it does
The
work
studies
well.
are really promising, and the long term studies on all the other, uh, you know, mood stabilizers, antipsychotics, all that. We don't have like long term studies. A lot of these medications are new, and people are refractory to them. They can't, there's only so much of that you can take for so long, and they have to start something different or put something else together with it. And a lot of that stuff just doesn't work anymore. Your nerve endings are like, we're done
Yeah.
with all the Prozacs and
Well,
everything.
we adapt, right? We all adapt. Our body adapts to stuff, and we that's why, any addiction, you have to do more and more and more to get to the same place, right?
Yeah, yeah. So these psychedelic studies seem like they could be something that would be truly helpful for PTSD is like spreading is a spread it spreads. It feels like there's so many features to it. There's so many symptoms. We've been through a pandemic. Everybody has a feature
Yeah.
of PTSD, at least one.
Well, 4 years of Trump is 4 days of Trump was enough PTSD for me, honestly.
Same sister, same.
Yeah.
Everybody has some feature going on, or there is some phase of the grief process or something. But yeah.
Mary says she did a Pluto and Aquarius workshop with Stephen Forrest this morning, and it was very good. I love Stephen Forrest. I really do. He's amazing. I
Interesting.
have a lot of his books. Um, I have a lot of his books. Yeah. Yeah. Pluto and Aquarius. Pluto evolves through its polarity point. So while Pluto is moving through Aquarius, we need to focus on the opposite sign, which is Leo. And Leo is creative self expression, it's love, it's talents, it's doing what you love. That's going to be an important part of Pluto going through Aquarius. So get busy, everyone, because Pluto's going to be in Aquarius. And I don't know what's today, the second? It's going the night, 11 days? No, I can't do math. how many days is that? 19
Really?
days from now?
December what?
No, wait. 17 days from now. It's December 19th. I'm sorry, November 19th, Pluto goes into Aquarius. So and today's the second, right? So that's 17 days.
So does it ever go back into Capricorn, or this is it? We're done.
We're
This
done.
is it. Oh, I'm having an open house that day. I'm so glad. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I bet you are, Miss Capricorn.
I'm really looking forward to it. So I was just going to say, when do you think we're going to start to sort of see how things might be changing?
Well,
Like,
I think we've already gotten a taste. If we remember a lot of the things, like if you look back when like Trump got convicted, and when somebody was held accountable for something, or maybe something with the world's oh god, the world's court there, with like Netanyahu and this one and that one and Putin, that all happened with Pluto and Aquarius. So we've already sort of gotten a taste of that. It really is the power to the people. But that's a double-edged sword, because not everybody agrees with me, and there's a lot of different ideas out there on how things should go.
yeah,
We'll figure it out, though. I mean,
yeah,
Kamala has Saturn in Aquarius. So if anybody can organize an Aquarian something, I would have to think she has the capacity to do
yeah.
that, or at least know who to put in charge where. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. Donna's very upset. She says, how do we deal when we see millions of people voting for Trump? Go to your happy place in your head, put on your headphones. I didn't see one. I mean, there were no signs. The only signs that were by the voting thing were local school board, aldermen, like that kind of thing, but no orange baby in diapers or nothing, no protesting, nothing like that. I did see a police slow down the street, and it wasn't a police car. It looked like an ice cream truck, but the plates had a police star on them. So I'm sure that just a public safety thing, they were just weaving in and out of all the polling places because of the potential of something. But I did notice that.
Yeah.
But everybody was super cool.
What I would say is, if as long as you voted, don't watch it. Focus on what you love. Do something that makes you happy. Do something creative. Take a walk out in nature if you have the ability to do that. Just don't watch it, because what you focus on, you bring more energy to. And you don't want to bring energy to that. You don't want to bring the energy to people voting. People are going to vote for Trump. They keep telling us it's going to be half, it's going to be very close. And even if in, relative, it's not close and she wins by a landslide, which I think she will, you have to remember that a lot of these people are not getting the same information. That all they do is watch Fox, and all you have to do is watch Fox for like, a day on and off, and you'll see that they're not getting the same information. So that's why they vote for him, because they don't know any better. And most people don't pay attention till the very end.
Yeah. I also have to say that I'm lucky enough to look at what he's doing from a clinical perspective. I just look and I think, oh, that is clinical. And
that's him though. Yeah, he's crazy.
Yeah, I can only like neutralize myself if I think of him as like a patient, or just like grandpa thinks he's going to work and you stick him in a car and he sits in the desk all day long doing nothing, sort of thing, but on a bigger scale. But it's kind of like that. I mean, it's really clinical now, so it's nothing that is just short of sad. Honestly, it's just so sad. Yeah, he had trouble getting in the garbage truck. It was something. Yeah. Joy asked, don't you think his vulgar remarks are part of his dementia? Yes. Yes. Sexually acting out is a symptom. You know, the old man that pinches your butt.
Well, he's had dementia for a long time then, because he's just well, when you get older,
It's a default
your
behavior.
filters, like it's always been in there, but your filters kind of fall away, and you
Yes.
can't control yourself from saying things. But those things are in there. You can believe that he actually believes all that shit he says.
It's a default behavior for some people, and it is, it is, because a lot of that stuff that you keep away, that you try to like stop, is stored there. So when part of the functioning, when you make your executive decisions on whether to use those words or act out on that impulse is gone, it will go default to that area that stored those pinch your butt, bad words. I don't even know what he was doing on the microphone thing. Um, Profanity. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And if you were in a nursing home, honestly, everybody who worked there that's like forgivable behavior. That's how some people.
But none of those people are running for president.
That's what, like, it's
Only him.
That's what's so funny.
He's the only dementia guy running for president.
You know, they're just letting him go, do his thing. Nobody's saying anything. If Biden had done half of the things and said half of the things that Trump did, there's no way he would have led. It would have been a question. Like, even when he slipped a little on the debate, they're like, we reviewed your profile, Joe, and we think this might be a better direction. Right? But Trump has failed like every improvement plan. People tell him not to do something. He's so defiant, like a child, oppositionally defiant. He will do that very thing. If he's told, don't say that, or don't put that orange jacket on, he'll do it. That's child behavior. Yeah, the Liz Cheney thing can't even spin that story into, I don't even know how you can get away with something like that.
I don't think he should have. I think Biden could have arrested him for that.
He should have.
He's got all those powers now. Use him, Joe. And that may be what ends up happening, that Joe has to use some sort of power just to stop something. And then they're going to say, oh, it's a political blah. I'm not worried about it. Don't worry about it. It's all going to be okay. She's winning. It's just we're going to have to wait. I think we're just going to have to wait. We're going to have to be patient, and I think they're going to run out of Tums in the drugstore. But other than that, I think we'll be okay. We have two voters. We have two people say they voted. Cindy waited 2 hours. 2 hours to vote. Cindy lives in a red area. I know that for sure. Cheryl went with her son and daughter, and they all voted blue. Keep it in the family.
Yeah.
Keep it in the family. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you.
These lines and stuff. This is to create an overwhelming response. These are unbelievable. I can't imagine what it's going to be like that day. The lines is going to be unbelievable.
Yeah, or not. It's possible that people are going early because they're afraid to go on the day. You know what I mean? Like,
what, Vicki? Paula Z says Trump is getting his sentencing in New York City later this month. I hope he gets put in jail. Why don't we just pull a card on
Yeah.
in question, just to make people feel better. Because if we know that's happening, then all of it's confirmation about, you guys, what are like, is anybody wearing anything special on election night?
Yeah.
We're gonna,
The thing is, she's going to win, but he's going to say that she cheated. So then, when the judge has to decide, is he putting the president in jail or is he putting the criminal in jail? The criminal president or just the criminal? Right? Will be interesting, but we'll pull the cards on it and see.
he's going to be sentenced. So will he be? How about just a simple like yes no question, like will he be restricted? Covers a little more ground, and even like ankle bracelet stuff. Can you imagine? They got to fix his suits to fit around his ankle bracelet. The president, like, I feel like I crawled into a cartoon that's been like inside a birthday cake on his shelf for
40
ever.
years.
It's so cartoonish, all of it, really. It's unbelievable. Fry Master Garbage Man. Okay. Antoinette's granddaughter, she says, I have white wine, cheese, and crackers and grapes. Perfect. That's perfect. Well, I'm just going to say, will he be restricted?
Okay. I think I see what I always thought would happen, but
What?
I'm just looking. Ooh, ouch. Doesn't look good for him.
It's a very emotional thing.
Doesn't look good for him at all.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the first card I get is the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands.
3 weeks.
And then the Justice.
Ooh.
Justice. The Ace of Pentacles. So I feel like he's going to be given a big fine, which of course he's not going to pay, but that's what they're going to do. They're going to fine him. But then look at this. This is the Queen of Thrones. Look at this card.
Yeah.
Right? The Queen. The Queen of Swords is Libra.
Okay.
Right? So this could be Kamala.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last card is the card of ruin.
Yeah.
Mars and Gemini.
Mars and Gemini. Mars will be in Mars will be in Leo.
Instead of being Leo and Cancer, it was in Gemini, right? Mars was in Gemini.
Yeah.
That's when all that stuff, that's when it was supposed to happen. I think when Mars was in Gemini.
Yeah. I get the King of Swords, so a ruling, a leader, a judge, a surgeon. Okay. And the Ace of Cups. So yes, there's some kind of sentencing. It might be a month. It's very emotional. My question was, will there be restriction? Ace of Cups, yes. There'll be restriction. Yeah, I know. Somebody asked the question. Are either of you going on anyone's channel that night? Yes, Antoinette's granddaughter. I just responded to Jen Lynn. We have Astrology Salon on Tuesday, and after that, I'm going to jump on Jen Lynn's channel. Just because it's party night. But I have to work the next day, so I'll only be on for maybe an hour.
Yeah, and it's an hour later for me, and I don't usually stay up that late. But I said to Jen, if I have any gas in my tank, I'll be there.
Yeah. I think you will. I think it's going to be an exciting night, right? I think it's going to be an exciting night. It's been a weird week. And I have to say, and I've saved this for this episode tonight, I've been kind of asking for signs from the ancestors. You know, we just finished up with Halloween and All Souls Day, and it's been that kind of spirit sort of thing going on. Over by where Giblets sleeps, he's got the whole love seat, by the way. It's just does not, it's not for me anymore. This card was on the ground and it's Squirrel Spirit and it says believe in yourself. So how the card from the Oracle deck that's on the clock there landed by Giblets and it's a squirrel. We were talking about elementals coming in around Thanksgiving and stuff, was like a little gift from like cannoli or pearl or something that has little acorns in it. So it was just kind of a cute thing that I found it there. I'm like, I don't know how it got there. It might have stuck on the bottom of my foot and ended up there for a day. I don't know. I also noticed on Halloween, I did get a little video with Giblets in his marshmallow costume. But it was so windy.
Oh, yeah, you can hear.
You guys, it was so windy that it was inaudible. So I turned it off and we turned around a corner. And I know he can't really hear me, but I still kind of like, come on, buddy, and did that and heard my voice echo down the block. That's how windy it was. It actually, I heard the wind carry it away.
Wow.
So I tried it again and it wasn't as strong. And I tried it again with, intentions for the new moon. I'm like, oh, new moon's going to listen to me now. And yelled a little bit, but it was over. It just the wind caught my voice at a certain velocity and ran away with it. And I thought, that is the coolest Halloween thing ever. But it was so windy that it's just, I just don't pick up any audio, even when my headphones and the speaker is like right here. But it's just Giblets walking around with his costume out there.
Well, you could put music to it or something and just have people see him in his costume.
Yeah, I think that might.
He did the mash. He did the monster mash. The monster mash. So that was
really cute. People were laughing.
I actually, Oda sent me a picture of Jibs in his costume. I sent it to all my friends. Everybody loved it.
Did you see the neckline? It's like he doesn't have one.
I
know. Over. It's a 4T toddler t-shirt.
It's all his muscles. He's a muscular guy. That's all. He's a muscular guy.
He's so funny. He was so funny. He makes me laugh all the time. I know. It was such a bizarre. I can't imagine what it was like if anybody had their windows open, but it was one of those like 40, 50 mile an hour wind days when the temperature dropped like 25 degrees. And in between some of these buildings, it is a vortex. And I know why some of these buildings are round.
Right.
Or curved. It is because of the wind. It's unbelievable.
So Donna from South Dakota voted blue in her ruby red South Dakota. The only other person I know who lives in South Dakota is actually blue also, another blue dot. I guess maybe I only know blue dots. That's probably more likely.
There used to be, I remember when we were young and when my dad and my parents would go vote, there was two ways to get into the school, the D side and the R side.
Oh,
Like, yeah. Yeah, there were all the Republicans had their signage and all that stuff on that side, and they were just, and you went in this side or you went in that side. Both ended up at the same door, but it was like everybody knew who everybody voted for.
right.
I could have been standing in line showing my pictures of my dog to somebody who voted for Trump, and I would not know.
Right. Right.
So,
Best we don't know. Best we don't know, quite frankly. Cindy, who lives in Oklahoma, said that she's surprised to see some Kamala signs in the yard. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, good. I've seen no Trump signs in this neighborhood. I've seen a few Kamala, and the businesses are very um, vocal about that. They're all Kamala signs, all up and down the street, but no Trump signs at all.
I've noticed, like, on my street, which is Main Street, actually, I don't see a lot of signs at all. But in certain neighborhoods, when you drive, I usually, it's like, seems like half and half, right? Which is, and this is, and I live in a blue state, but this area is a little bit more agricultural.
Uh-huh.
So the people who own the bogs and the people, like, they have money, right? And so a lot of self-employed people seem to go in the direction of Trump.
I was going to ask you if it seemed like it was a socioeconomic thing. You know what I mean? Like
I think it's a lifestyle thing. I think it's a lifestyle thing. I think people who are doing their own thing and fording their own path tend to go Republican because they don't like to have anything holding them back. And I can understand that because I've always done that myself. And then people who go Democrat seem to be a little bit more, in the system themselves. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's a blue state. All our things are going to go to Kamala and Tim. So, but there are sections, and there are actually a lot. I was surprised at how many Trump people were around here, and my town is red-ish. There's like
is it the demographic is older? Is it an older population? More boomers?
It's more like I'd probably say people who have a lot of money and people who don't have a lot of money. And then the people like sort of in the middle, probably go blue, but it's the people who have all the money and then the and you wouldn't think, but like when my mother was still with us, she had two women who would come in and take care of her like 2 days a week or something. And they were both like Trump supporters, and they were healthcare, aides, right? That help you, shower and stuff. And the Democrats wanted to do like make their life better, but it's like they never heard it or something. They didn't know. I'm like, well, they want to give you guys more money, right? Like they were like, so it's that kind of thing. It seems like the people who maybe weren't informed in a way were doing that, but that was just like my own, personal experience with it. I can't say that that's across the board or not. But I
They
was
should not have ever told you their opinions about anything like that to begin with. They could get in trouble for that.
They don't get in trouble for nothing here. I mean, yeah, it's just not that, you know what I mean? Like this was the middle of COVID. They were lucky they had people who would come.
You know what? You're right.
I mean, it was a whole different thing. Yeah, it was a whole different thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's home health care. It's not, it's not like, Boston, Brigham and Women's or anything like that.
Yeah.
Home health care. But I didn't care. They were great. They were great. They were great gals. They were lovely. We got along just fine.
Yeah.
And I would, drop a few political things in there, around them just so they'd hear something else. But I didn't say, okay, well, you can't take care of my mother anymore. Like,
No,
yeah,
no. And I came across it in the other place that I was working with the other supervisors who were very divided, and I thought how odd it was that on COVID they were divided. And I'm like, you're not for real. Like, I really did not grasp that at all. But some in their older nurses in the older generation, some of them were walked straight into a conspiracy COVID stories, and I was blown away by that. I'm like, wow,
yeah.
that's me in 20 years. If I like, is this, how long am I going to last before this? I can't see myself bubbled up like that, you know?
So Kelly asks, will we get our news outlets cleared up and held to stricter standards? I think legacy media is almost done for. I think citizen reporters, people with like the Midas Touch and
Mhm.
all these channels. You're getting people who are kind of experts in their fields having channels. I think that's the future, and maybe because of that, maybe these places will actually start doing news. But I think cable, I mean, like ABC, maybe NBC, that'll still be newsy.
Mhm.
But like CNN, I mean, CNN is
I
just
think if the rhetoric backs up, the people will follow that pattern. Because if you're vetting channels and you're vetting news, then you're impinging on that freedom of speech component. I think that it's so bad because now all we hear are like, from even and Tim, shit, this, fuck that. And it's like we need to raise the bar again.
says the Capricorn. Such a
And
prude, man.
you
Get
know
with
and
it. Get with
follow.
the way. Get with the vibe.
Yeah, and kind of like if we start speaking or not just thinking about our words are impacting other people, then maybe when the rhetoric backs off a little bit, the hyperbole backs up a little bit, then it will follow suit because we're just a bunch of lemmings anyway, honestly. You know, as they were able to get away with more inflated language and stuff, and people followed. I think a lot of people liked Trump in the beginning because he said stuff that they didn't think they could say, and he said it,
Yeah.
and they liked that.
Oh yeah.
They
Yeah,
liked
yeah. So to answer the question that somebody posed here, I do think they're gonna, according to the cards, they are gonna put some more. Um, I think they're gonna limit. I also think there's gonna be a limit to what you can say on YouTube. Yeah, there already is. There already is. So I mean that's there. There's gonna be more. What's that when they stop you from saying stuff? What is that called?
censor.
More censorship, I think. More censorship. Um, and I don't think it's. I think they'll do that, and then when things calm down, or if things calm down, then they might give a little more latitude for that stuff. But it does say that there is going to be control. It is going to be more tightly controlled. So I think that's like just all like YouTube, legacy. I would like to think that like Fox isn't allowed to lie
Hmm.
like that, and I feel like that they're not going to be allowed to lie, and they're going to be very uh, circumspect about news that may be coming from Russia. I
Yeah.
have the nine of swords next to the Empress. Then we have the Queen of Water, and then we have the Magician, which is that constriction, and then the Queen of Air, which is also kind of um, putting down rules, what's right, the rules of engagement, that kind of stuff. I
Yeah.
think we're going to be stricter about that. I just hope
We
that.
have caveats in the news and stuff. Like in some photographs, there's a little eye in a circle on the bottom that, that means it's been vetted, verified, and it's true. If something is AI generated, it should have a little thing there. If somebody's phishing you, it'll have a hook, right? Like there would be a way to say, okay, this is just fiction or lying. There might be sort of like a way to not watch those if you don't want to. Take them off your feed, and then you should be able to create a profile where you're just being fed what you want to be fed.
Well, that's what it's really sort of doing anyway.
It is.
But I think I'm not sure that's a good idea. I think we need to see things that we don't normally see, that we know that there's other stuff going on. I mean, that's what I think. You know what I mean? Like I don't just want to be shown the stuff that makes me happy. I want to see if I need to do something different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 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 You do. And you do need to see something different. That's how you get stuck in a bubble.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, my husband gets a lot of his news from Facebook. I'm like, Michael, you really should start looking at other, because he'll say stuff, and I'm like, are you getting your news on Facebook again?
Yeah. Yeah.
And he complains that I watch too much news. I'm like, well, at least I'm watching news,
Yeah.
not Facebook.
I have to say, with Facebook, they do have the little eye by the pictures there, so you do know of somebody, because it's so easy to Photoshop something to make it look real. I follow like plant pages and stuff, and you can make something look very real that doesn't exist.
Or not
Like,
yet, anyway. We don't know. It might exist yet.
it might. You never know.
Cindy says he's behaving like a pubescent child.
Oh my God. It's
I think maybe prepubescent. Oh, that too. Never mind.
so bad that it's just got to come down to closing time, like it's closing time. We have to just take you back. There's nothing that's going to change anybody's mind. We're just seeing this decline on top of exhaustion, on top of being overworked, overthinking, not being able, losing your voice, everything that we don't need to see anymore. It's not going to change anybody's mind at this point.
No.
Right? Somebody had asked a question, and I'm going to check on my phone and see if I could find, if she's here, then I'll address it, about the sun flares, because those are acting up again. Do you notice?
I actually haven't physically noticed. I notice it physically. Usually, I'll feel very, very tired, and very, very. I have a lot of body aches with them, and I haven't noticed that. Maybe yesterday. Maybe I noticed it yesterday. But those mass coronal ejections, it stimulates the atmosphere. It stimulates the atmosphere, and so it causes more weather events. My teacher says that it's new souls coming into the sphere of the planet, and those souls don't necessarily incarnate, but they're around us. So the atmosphere is charged with new souls coming in to help us. That's what's happening metaphysically. It's to open up our consciousness and, wake us up. And, we're used to things being a certain way. And I think that, and it's even going to get more intense once Pluto goes back into Aquarius, because Aquarius is vibration.
I don't see her in the feed, but she asked about protons and radiation and if it's the same as the sun protons. The protons are the same, but their velocity and their concentration and their acceleration are really different. So they dodge off you, you know, in the atmosphere. But if
There's
it's
no real, we'll say, danger to this. It's a natural cycle. Anyway, there are
Mhm.
much worse. There are much more dangerous things out there, I think.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's not. I wouldn't worry about, I would worry about being laying in the sun or being exposed to the sun without sunscreen 100% of the time, which helps, right?
Says she can imagine a person 2 miles away hearing, "Come on, buddy."
Oh my God. That was so
See,
crazy.
somebody's probably going to think that their house is haunted when they hear your voice on the wind.
Some of those houses were built in like 1929. They're really old.
When
Sometimes
when Scarface.
I'm going to do the tour. I'm going to do the tour. Oh, I will walk and I will just see like a really cool old building if we do like different routes in the past year. And I will remember the address and I go home and I look it up. I look up the building and it's like built in 1927, built in 1929. I'm like, oh my God, those are like huge apartments that, and they are just inhabitable. It's unbelievable. I mean, like habitable. Like
Yes.
people have kept it up, and the building looks nice, and they're doing all the work and stuff. They're just really cool. I love, love, love that. A lot of rat holes too.
As a Canadian, I find it weird that you guys are that open about which party you support. Yeah, well, Americans, we really can't keep our mouth shut, I don't think. It's that freedom of speech thing. It's like,
Yeah. I think it used to be a little bit stricter about that. You didn't really talk about that, but again, with all like the social media stuff and saying what's at the top of your head without like filtering through it and people reading that, like, yeah, it's sort of become that you know everything about everybody. Yeah.
it's unfortunate we just can't have a difference of opinion, you know what I mean? And then
I
come to
know. I told you I took a picture of the screen when I voted, and my heart was racing because I didn't know it's qualified because it's supposed to be a secret. You're behind this thing. And it's always been like you don't tell anybody. Like the women, and that was another pitch that they're trying to do is the women are supposed to let their husbands know that who they're voting for, and that's supposed to be approved. That's just laughable. It's just laughable. There's no anger in there. You could only laugh as like it's like a bad joke. No, you don't have to tell anybody who you vote for. It's pretty much people kind of have an idea. If you want to sneak Kamala in there, go right ahead. You don't have to tell anybody, right?
That's right. Marcia is hoping for a blue wave. Well, I'm waxing up my surfboard, Marcia. So I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready to ride the wave. I am ready.
Yeah,
Western Maryland is red country, very in this very, very blue state. Oh yeah. Well, it's probably more rural, I would think. Rural people really don't want to be bothered with the
no,
government generally, and so they associate that um, with the Republicans or the Libertarians, I guess. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I tend to be slightly on the libertarian side, but I do understand the need for government, and I think the government needs to be there for the people. But I also understand that, you know, it complicates things sometimes, and the systems aren't that good, so sometimes it makes things harder.
Yeah.
But if you don't put the energy and the effort into improving the systems, they'll never get better. And we're going to need each other more and more, I think. And we're going to need those things in the government that'll connect us to each other. Like internet, right?
Service.
It's like getting internet out into the hills.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. You know what I mean? And then the Green New Deal, all that Green New Deal stuff. That's really the future.
Yeah.
That's the future.
Yeah.
We just got to get somebody in there who, well, we already did. Like Biden's in there, and he's done a lot for that. But we need to get Kamala in and AOC, and start to move in that direction. Because if we want to keep the young voters, we're going to have to do something about climate change, because that's their primary. I asked my nephew, I said, what's your primary concern? He said, climate change.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like 22.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be mine. It would be mine. When I was his age, I was worried about nuclear annihilation. I don't think I slept throughout my 20s.
That
Christina was bored.
When I was 22, AIDS was the popular disease du jour. I think those are the only things that kind of bother me now because of climate change, because viruses that typically would be dormant for much longer aren't.
Yeah, and the stress on the environment creates stress on us as well. And really the only thing you can do is just up your immunity.
Yeah.
So you have to do things that are going to and one of the ways to up your immunity is to be happy.
Yep.
So do what you love and love what you do. Be happy. Don't worry. Be happy.
Yeah. Sometimes I just watch the dog and cat videos, the short videos on YouTube. Goofy dogs with 2 brain cells, and they just are so funny that I've made the rotation. I think I've seen every single one of them. If you need like a quick, happy place, you're standing in line somewhere, those are great. In the middle of the night too, sometimes. Somebody asked, let me go back, and I'm going to do this because this I think is interesting. If you experience an increase in psychic ability or awareness during the equinoxes, I think for me, honestly, equinoxes and solstices are more of a wait kind of a thing. And the psychic stuff is always there. Sometimes it's too much and I have to ignore it. But sometimes, and I think as this is related to astrology, sometimes the planets are just lining up right? Like Mercury's going into Sag. My Mercury's in Sag at the galactic core. I'm waiting for those.
For the messages to come through.
For the audio, I know it's happening because I know that there are periods when it's even more heightened. How about you? Equinox?
I would say definitely there's an increase in phenomena. It's just the equinoxes, the solstices, all the cross quarter days are transition.
Yeah.
Sort of have that transitional energy, and I think it brings in more spirit, but especially this time of year here when it's dark. I mean, when you think about it, when it's dark out, you kind of focus on you listen differently. Like when you're outside and it's light, you walk around, you're doing stuff, but when it's dark, you use different senses. And I think that when it starts to get dark, that opens up for us as well. So I think we become more dependent on our intuitive because we don't have the same sight.
Yeah.
She gave up Facebook for Lent in 2017.
Good for you. Wow.
And she left the church many years ago. So that's funny.
Good.
2017. Yeah, that was a 10-1 year. That was when we started a whole new cycle. That year, that 9-year cycle is ending next year. So next year is about wrapping things up and separating the wheat from the chaff. So we're chaff. I don't think it's chaff. Chafe would be Trump. He's like chafes me, but chaff would be getting rid of the stuff that doesn't have any use anymore.
Yeah.
And I think Trump's use is done. I think he came to do what he needed to do, and I think it's time. I think he's going. He's going. The only thing that's really keeping him even afloat is the media. That's really the only thing. Because if it was just him, he'd be done.
Yeah. Marcia says, thanks very much. I have a huge psychic surge during the equinoxes. That's great. That's great that you can like get ready for them. Make sure you have enough notebooks and like, your automatic writing and sit in that space. If you know that a huge download is coming, that's awesome.
Paula ZT says that she reads Substack. There's some great news sources on Substack. Yeah, there are a lot of really good writers. A lot of people who know a lot and want to put their opinion out there do it on Substack. I know that to be true. Okay, I'm just reading.
I have lived to visit Four Paws in Salem. That sounds like an awesome place.
Oh, you have to come.
God.
I'm telling you, you have to
I
come.
might not come back.
I'm going to take you all over. We're going to go to P-Town. We're going to go to Salem. We're going to go to Rockport. We're going to go to Boston. We're going to go to Cambridge. We're going to go to my
I might not come back.
What?
I might not come back.
That's okay. We have an extra bedroom. And it's dog friendly, so.
Oh, we would love it. Oh my God. Paula Z says Project 2025. People are keeping Trump afloat until after the inauguration. I think it's obvious that they're just kind of, poking him with a stick and until after it's over and then like the big decisions are made. So really people are voting for Vance if they think that. Well, I haven't seen a lot of him come up in my feed. I don't know what's going on with him, but that's who you're voting for.
Well, you're voting for Peter Thiel, probably, is what you're voting for.
Right, right.
Yeah, the bros.
Tato said, I decided to give up my 18-year-old PT Cruiser. I can walk everywhere and I love walking now. My sister is a PT. She said, keep walking. I did too. I gave my car to my kid. I can't. There are not enough spaces on the road for the volume of cars that are on it every day. And I plucked mine out and I said, I do not want, I have not driven a car since June. No.
Wow. Four Paws Acupuncture says there's lots of witches for Kamala. Of course, there's two right here, by the way. That Kamala was honored by a local coven and about 1,000 people.
Good.
So Kamala's got magic on her side.
Yeah, that's important.
Just don't tell Angelica, please. Don't tell her.
It's important. I don't want anybody to worry or have just a heightened sense of anxiety, because this is exactly what happens to your body when you get used to it at a certain level. You keep looking for it.
Oh, it was Stormy Daniels that was honored, not Kamala. Well, I like both of them. So
Stormy Daniels.
Yeah.
I really like her. I like her. She's smart.
Yeah, Heather Cox Richardson is great. She hasn't put anything out lately, and I'm sure she's crazy busy. So I don't, but I every time she puts something out when she just talks to her people, it's fantastic. She's fantastic.
Carol V says the equinox full moon brought on my neuropathy full force and activate the numbness in both legs. I cannot drive my car. I'm praying for a healing. Driving was definitely, I have neuropathy also. Muscle memory more than anything was, I knew where my feet were supposed to shift pretty much. But I notice when I lay down, it's really, really bad. The neuropathy. It takes a long time to get used to repositioning cold water. That's just change of season for me, though. Most of it.
I'm sending you healing, Carol. That's what I'm doing right now. This is the healing my husband does, called receivings. So hopefully it will help. Let's all send all the healers on the channel. We're going to send some healing to Carol.
Yeah.
I think that'll be very helpful. And I know there are a lot of healers on this channel.
And it will it adjusts. It adjusts, but yeah. Yeah, it's been a lot. I watched that. I watched what like how much water is in the week, how much earth, how much fire, how much air. I definitely put that in a file in my head and think about how my physical body is reacting to it. You know, I ate like a whole box of hot tamales the other day because the synesthesia has been crazy with this moon. Yeah.
I do not know Annette. No, I don't. Recovery. I'm an uncovered Catholic. I wouldn't recover that for nothing. It's like recovering an old smelly chair. Who needs it?
Remember when we started saying that, a recovering Catholic? Yeah, I remember that.
I'm an uncovering Catholic. I've uncovered. I have lifted the veil of Catholicism.
Yeah.
There's a you know, it's a very you know, a lot could be said about it for sure, but I have had spiritual experiences in churches. I mean, I would just sit in the church and just like look up at this with the sun coming in. There's just like this feeling of awe that, you know, that doesn't really have anything to do with the religion, actually.
Yeah.
Carol's a double Aquarius. Pluto's coming in your sign, baby.
Wow.
Cooking now.
Nice.
Yes, stay hydrated. Water is life. Water is life.
Yep.
In fact, I'm quite thirsty right now.
Yeah, and it's 7:03, so I think we're gonna kind of wrap it up. It's been about an hour, and everybody's gonna be fine, and we're all gonna be fine. And tune into Jen Lynn's channel on election night because it'll be hilarious.
Yes, and I am on Susan Lynn's channel tomorrow. We did something today. She's going to put it up tomorrow, and she said she would love to be a Mystic Sister for a night. So upcoming at some point, we'll have Susan Lynn. We'll have all the Lynns. We'll find all the Lynns, and we'll have them. Jen Lynn, Susan Lynn, all the Lynns. Lynn.
Innocent Potato is a Reiki one. Keep it up, Innocent Potato. Get that Reiki too.
No, I was never, well, I can't say that. I actually had a Reiki master as a patient, and everybody always thought I did Reiki, but I had never done Reiki. And everybody said, you should do Reiki. And, I kind of, I don't always feel people
initiate you.
And then I had my hands, I was going to adjust her neck, and this energy came flying through my body, out my hands and out her feet. And she looked up at me, her eyeballs, and she said, "Did you feel that?" I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" So yes, I guess I do Reiki because I got initiated into Reiki. But I do reconnection. I've done reconnection healing, and I do my husband's healing, the receivings. So I do energy healing.
Carol V, how do I get connection? Here we go, honey. I'll show you.
Um, Carol, are you on Facebook at all? He has a channel on Facebook, Receivings with Michael, and it's RECEIVINGS, Receivings with Michael. You know what? I'll have Ona maybe put that in the descriptor later, and you guys can access that. Yeah, or you can go on the Seeds of Transformation, my website. What he does is on that under healing services, so you can check that out. The Seeds of Transformation.
All right, you guys, thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll see you soon.
Happy election night. It's going to be good. Everybody's going to be fine. And this is all going to be a memory and a timeline that we shut down at some point. And I can't wait.
Take care, everyone. We love you.
Yeah.